Shana Tova. The last night of my sabbatical, when we were in New York City, we wanted to go out for pizza. Not just any pizza, but the best pizza in all of New York. This simple desire launched us into 45 exhausting minutes of Google searches and Yelp reviews and blog rankings and text messages to friends who lived in the city. It became a mission. By the time that we actually sat down, we weren't joyful. We were tired, still hungry. And when we got the pizza, it was good. Better than average, but not that life-changing meal that we had built up in our heads. In truth, the best pizza was probably at the place on the corner that we could have gone to just 5 minutes ago if we had chosen that instead and eaten without all the stress. That night taught me something. Sometimes the pursuit of the best ruins what is already good enough. Voltaire, the French philosopher, very famously phrased that as, "The perfect is the enemy of the good." The same idea, but I doubt he was ordering pizza at the time. We live in a society that is drowning in choices. American psychologist Barry Schwartz, in his book, The Paradox of Choice, argues that when options multiply, happiness actually decreases. He writes about two types of people, and listen if you hear yourself in one of them. Satisficers, who accept good enough and are content, and maximizers, who seek the best, who are relentless and restless and anxious and ultimately regretful. Former Israeli Prime Minister, the founder of Startup Nation, Nobel Prize winner Shimon Peres, famously observed that the Jews, their greatest contribution to history is dissatisfaction. He said, "We're a nation born to be discontented. That whatever exists, we believe that we can change it for the better." That's chutzpah. And you know this one. A Jewish grandmother is walking on the beach with her grandson. Suddenly, a rogue wave comes and sweeps the grandson out to sea. Distraught, the grandmother looks up into the sky and says, "Oh God, I have always been true and faithful to you. Please bring back my grandson." And with that, another wave comes crashing in and delivers her grandson safely on the shore right next to her. And she looks up into the sky and says, "He had a hat." Comedian Larry David has made a career out of poking fun at the Jewish obsession with obsessing. Obsessing over things. We're told that life is about maximizing, about optimizing, about never settling, and the result is we're never satisfied. This idea is so ingrained in the Jewish psyche, let alone our lives today, with their endless reviews and suggestions and star rankings and tomatoes, rotten or not. It's as though FOMO, the fear of missing out, has become the defining spiritual condition of our time. But Jewish tradition literally sings a different tune, a countercultural truth. On Passover, we sing Dayenu. If God had only brought us out of Egypt but not split the sea, Dayenu. If God had only given us manna but not Shabbat, Dayenu. Dayenu means enough. It is sufficient. It is not about wanting more, it's about appreciating what we have. Pirkei Avot teaches, Eza hu ashir, hasomech bechelko. Who is rich? The one who is content with their portion. The great Jewish thinker Abraham Joshua Heschel deepened this when he said, our goal should be to live life in radical amazement. To get up in the morning and to look at the world in a way that takes nothing for granted. Where everything is phenomenal. Where everything is incredible. To never treat life casually. That's not resignation. It's not laziness. I think it's spiritual courage. Because to say Dayenu is to resist the lie that life is measured by comparison or competition or optimization. To say Dayenu is in itself radical amazement. The strength to see enough as wondrous. Every morning, Jews wake up and they say Modeh or Moda Ani. I give thanks. Not for the best, not for the most, but simply for being alive. Before we eat, we bless food. Not because it's Michelin star rated food or rated highly on Yelp, but because even a simple piece of bread is holy when we receive it with gratitude. And when it has sauce and cheese, it's pizza. On Shabbat, we embrace enoughness. Every week, we are commanded to stop creating, to stop consuming, to stop choosing, and simply, which is not so easily, to just rest, to let the world be unfinished, and to let ourselves be unfinished. Shabbat teaches us that life is not only about improving and advancing, sometimes holiness lies in stopping and savoring. And so tonight on Rosh Hashanah, as we begin the process of Cheshbon HaNefesh, of examining our souls, when we look under the hood, what will we find there? Will we find an engine always revving, always running, always grinding and revving up for the next hill to climb, the next one to conquer? Or will we find our soul peacefully at idle, tuned and well-maintained, capable of driving up and driving hard, but also knowing when to put it into neutral and to when to let things coast? Not because striving for excellence is bad, but because striving all the time, never being satisfied or appreciative of what we have and are, with ourselves or with others, with society, because that is, well, it's destructive. It's corrosive. Some of us have vowed silently in our hearts that we will never settle for less. Never settle for less than the best. That we will find the perfect school, the perfect job, the perfect body, the perfect house, the perfect partner, the perfect life. And those vows, they're exhausting, and they exhaust us. Our pursuit of perfection has become, for some, an unhealthy obsession. Columnist David Brooks has observed that young adults today face not only too much choice, but too much rejection. They apply to dozens of schools, hundreds of internships, thousands of jobs, and are told again and again, you're not enough. And social media adds its own cruelty to this. The post that nobody likes, the group chat that you weren't included in, the swipe that goes unanswered. In a culture of endless choice, rejection becomes the air that we breathe. So it's no wonder that so many of us put on an armor, polishing stories for ourselves or for others until we begin to believe the illusions ourselves. Judaism cuts through that armor with a different kind of truth. We say, Dayenu, you are enough. What you already have and who you already are, it is enough. And these high holy days free us up by placing upon us sacred limits. Judaism doesn't ask us to be maximizers. It asks us to be committed. To stop chasing the infinite possibilities and to root ourselves right here in covenant. To stop asking, what is the best that I can get? And to start asking, what is the blessing that I already have? Our culture says, don't miss out. Judaism says, don't overlook. Our culture says, be everything. And Judaism says, you are enough. Our culture says, more, more, more. And Judaism says, Dayenu, Dayenu. This clash between our culture's obsession with more and Judaism's call to enough has been named powerfully by Rabbi Jonathan Sacks of blessed memory, who wrote, the consumer society is constantly telling us that happiness lies in what we buy. But Judaism tells us that happiness lies in what we are. In other words, fulfillment is not the endless search for what's next, but in the covenantal commitment to who we already are. The task of this day is not to perfect ourselves, but to return to ourselves. Progress, not perfection, is the mitzvah of the moment, of every moment, particularly this moment of tshuva. Not polish without flaw, but the slow turning of our hearts back to what matters most. As Barry Schwartz pointed out, the burden of too much choice is regret. The feeling that you could have done better, could have chosen better. But Judaism reframes regret as a holy tool. We call it a vidui, a confessional. We own our mistakes. We name them. We do so together. And then we move forward. Regret becomes a teacher, not a tormentor. So this year I want to invite you to let go of FOMO, the fear of missing out. To stop chasing after what might be happening somewhere else. And instead try slow-mo. Savor life. Observe this moment only. Or as tradition teaches, menuchat hanefesh, rest for the soul. Because when you live in slow-mo, when your soul is at peace, you can finally see what is right in front of you. So here's what I'd like you to do. Name one blessing that is already in your life. One relationship that matters. One mitzvah that you can commit to. The truth is, you already have enough. The truth is, you already are enough. We're not a people of FOMO. We are a people of Dayenu, Dayenu. May we learn this year to sit down with what is right in front of us. Whether it's a slice of pizza, or people, or a slice of apple with honey. And to taste its blessing without wondering if there is something better around the corner. May we sing Dayenu, Dayenu all year long. Shana Tova.